we're back just like that. The
Just
reason for
like
that
that.
is I still use the free bootleg Zoom, and they only allow you 45 free minutes. So,
Love it.
so
Love
listen,
it.
that's it.
Piracy.
It's nothing but transparency here. That's what
There
went
you
on.
go.
There's a fake
Absolutely.
commercial coming.
Love that. Love
but
it. Love it. Love it. So
continue
yeah,
what you were
no,
saying.
yeah, no, like I said, is we need to come up with, and it's not just a Worcester thing, it's a state thing, and and now we and you hear the rumors, oh, he does this in the off season, he's not supposed to do that. Everybody's doing it. Let's shut up, right?
Right,
And so
right.
how about we come out from the shadows and just say it is what it is, right?
Yep.
And that will help, that will increase participation, and go from there. Like I said, I would like to see more um sub varsity teams get fielded. I think what did in a lot of those sub varsity programs, especially at the baseball level, is the commitment, right?
Yeah.
Because and with basketball it's easy because JV and varsity play on the same night, so it's they play in the same gym, same night. You're in and out of there 3 hours for
Yeah.
both games. Not so much with baseball, right? And so they're playing the same amount of games, they're playing on the same days, but you know North will have to go to Doherty, and then Doherty JV will have to go to North. Now, that's good inside city. You can keep the costs down. However, but like now you have Doherty playing Wachusett at home, and now you got to get a bus for the JV team to go out to Holden.
Right.
And and that's now I don't know how it works with our new bus system, but those were added costs, and then when it would rain, it would screw up everything because now everyone's trying to play on the same day,
Right.
and now we have an umpire shortage, so it's getting real tough. you know the varsities play about I think it's a 16 to 18 game schedule. You could play a JV schedule of 10, 12 games. You don't
Right.
have to play the same amount of games. And you know what, to be honest, with the inter high, just play the inter high. Play them all 3 times. That's it.
Right.
And then call yourself a sub varsity inter high champ. I go to these towns. I know you've been following Prouty. They have all their junior high championship banners up.
Don't even
So,
get me going, man. Don't
right.
even,
Yeah. So like they have them. They don't mean anything. So who cares? Just play them yourselves, and do it. Start it small. Keep it in the city, and then as you get participation, go big. The best thing they did a while ago was those hybrid teams, right? Where the hockey team is all kids from all the different schools. They have the
yeah,
swimming teams. I
you're
don't know if
right.
they have the lacrosse teams are like that. So that's one way to do it. Don't shutter the sport. Don't shutter the sport because you don't have enough players in one school. Try to make it work. Try to make it work with the other schools, because now it's unfair to the kids that do want to play.
Right.
You're rewarding the kids that don't want to play by just killing the program, and you're punishing the kids that do want to play. And now you have varsity teams that are carrying 10 extra guys that'll never see the diamond.
Right.
So figure out a way to do that somehow. And again, it doesn't it's sub varsity, it can be intramural, or however you do it. There has to be a way to get participation going. And I always say the AAU programs killed just regular basic sports. They've killed the little leagues, they've killed the sub varsities. They're about to kill varsities if we don't stay on top of it.
The thing about
um
it is, though, there's got to be effort. These in the AAU, look at like Diego's whole
mhm.
program. These kids are playing for something. They're getting
Right.
exposure, and quite frankly, the schools aren't doing their job. I've called it out. It's my own opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm calling it with my own eyes. It's effort. It's
Oh,
effort. It's 2023. Social media is huge for these kids.
yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing, like I said, I would wish, the athletic department would invest in, because there's a program, and you may know it, it's called Huddle, HUDL. And
I was going to mention this.
and the thing is that it's costly, but if you do it right, it works great. We use it up at Holy Name all the time,
That thing's incredible.
and you know it used to I used to film the games, watch the games while I was filming, go home, and then I have to watch it again because I had to cut the film down. Then you break it down by player. So I would have seen the same game 4 times in a 24-hour span.
Right.
Um, but then what it would set up is, now, like we'll use Grace O'Gara. College coach calls up and says, "Hey, you got any film on Grace O'Gara?" I'd say,
Thank
"What's your
you.
email? Where's your email address?" And but that program will not only just send game tapes.
Stats.
I can mash it where you're just watching Grace all day,
Right.
and I would send those off. But it was also a coaching tool where the kids can go back and watch their games.
Yeah. The
When they
thing is
say, "Oh,
incredible.
I was wide open," and then you realize you were triple covered, right? Like, So, we would do film sessions on Sundays. We would do a light practice, some weightlifting, and then we would watch the previous game, or we would watch the game of our upcoming opponent, because we would swap films with other coaches. We had no problem with that.
Yep.
And so to bring it back full circle is, each school is responsible for their own huddle. Now, I don't know what the Worcester Public Schools policy is about it, but figure out a way to get a district-wide one and allow these um
Do you know how easy that
teams.
would be? Like if you had all five Worcester schools have the huddle cam,
Yeah,
it would make it 20 times better.
and you
And
could broadcast too that way too. And
absolutely.
it's another way to broadcast. Like when North played Doherty. I'm sure people got shut out of that game because Doherty doesn't have a very big gym. Um, you know, Broadcast it. You have and there's offers where they, if I don't know if you ever been to Shrewsbury High. If you go up to Shrewsbury High, there's this big white camera. That's a huddle camera. So they'll film the game for you. Sorry, the machine will fill the game for you, and um and you can kind of do it that way. So there's ways around that, and like I said, it's all about investment, and where are we putting these dollars on the athletic programs in the city.
I I think it's a big part of it. And now that we have a state championship, I think that's leverage. Like we
Yeah.
have the talent here.
Oh.
We have the talent here to, just like any other region in the country.
Mhm,
We're,
mhm.
we're right up there. There's no, why not us? That's
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, but like like I said, I
a lot
think
of money.
that it is a lot of money. No, but the social media aspect isn't. You know,
Right.
that thing I shared with you yesterday, where Inter High is back. We got baseball down in Pole. Like, I created that in about 4 seconds.
Thank you.
I
Thank
created
you
that in
very
4 seconds.
much.
I posted it because I wanted people to go to the games. Not because I'm going to be there. I want people to go there because that's a cool thing. It's free to the public. Nobody has to pay to get in. You walk in, you sit down, and you catch a high school game at a minor league ballpark. For me, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
And if you ever go on to our Paul and Johnson, either Instagram or social media, I post stuff like that all the time. we got 4 games tonight. Go watch one.
Right.
Does it? I mean, do people go to it? Probably not. But at least people are aware of it. The Telegram is aware of it. The Telegram is sharing it out. Kevin Shea will come and film it. All that stuff. It's just all about awareness. Let people know. Um, you know,
It's important.
what.
Uh-oh. You're frozen, Nick. You still there?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I
Now
think
you're
we're back.
back. You're
We're
back.
good.
It's a little behind, but I can see you.
I think we're good. You hear me?
Yeah, we're
All
back.
right. Okay. All right. What was the last thing you heard me say?
I heard, I don't know, it started making a crazy noise on my end.
Oh, okay. But I was just saying, you know how many people called me on or texted me on Sunday asking me what time the North game was?
Yeah.
What, do you live in a cocoon?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's on the Mass. I'm like, it's on the Mass Pike. I'm like, everybody knows, right?
The thing is, there's a gap. You know what I mean? Like, there's a gap in age, and I'm not saying a tremendous gap, but I think a lot of the people who don't think social media is as important as it is need to catch with the times. Like, and there's no central spot for like scheduling. You look, I'm trying to write stories. It's not just me. You cannot find a schedule or an accurate time, not max preps, there's no central point.
Actually, there is one that might help you now because the MIAA, with all their wisdom.
Oh, you went down again, Nick. There you are. Now you're back for good. Wait, your audio's connecting.
Sorry, no, I did that on accident.
All right, you're good now. God,
Yeah,
I was thinking, wait, you left the cliffhanger, bro. You said the MIA and then
so the MIA, with all their wisdom, they I petitioned them 15 years ago. I said, you need to jump into this website called Arbiter. We as officials have been using Arbiter for about 18 years. And what Arbiter started off as is just an official assigning software. So we put all the games we get, we put them in a database. We have all of our umpires, and then everybody like kind of sets their availability and say, okay, I have Doherty versus South, April 3rd, 7:30, Polar Park. Who's available to do the game? And then it'll just show us who's available, and then we, obviously at that point it becomes a merit based, right? You want good umpires doing good games, things like that. And I was at a basketball tournament in North Carolina, and I was just down there on vacation. I went over and I just sat, and I happened to sit with the state high school head of officiating. And I just said, hey, tell me how this works. Like, tell me how your state association works, because in Massachusetts, it's the wild, wild west, right?
Yep.
And he's like, oh, and he goes, no, we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same bucket, and we have 6 regions. One guy handles each region, and then you have to pass your test. You have to get evaluated 3 times during the season. And I go, where do you put it all? He goes, we all log it into Arbiter. I'm like, holy cow, Arbiter does that too. He's like, yep. He goes, we have evaluations. We have all. I'm like, wow, this is great. So I went and I did some research. So I sent a presentation to the MIAA, and I said, you have a good opportunity here to centralize the officiating, make it a meritocracy as opposed to a bureaucracy, and you'll find happy coaches. And as this, and who knows what'll happen when this site explodes. MIA does not want to be involved with officiating. We leave it to all the local organizations. Okay.
Wow.
Now they whack all the officials for $10 for every sport that they do, $45 for a background check, um, all this stuff. And now what they've done is they're forcing all the teams to put their schedule into Arbiter. So I will
That's
send you a link.
that is awesome.
I
That's
will send you a link right now, and you could basically pull up any team in the state, and you can put up their schedule for any sport that they load in there.
just south would
And
be nice, but
yeah,
I'm south
so
of the city. You know what I mean?
yeah, so hold on one second. So I'm just checking something here. Okay, so I'm gonna share my. Oh, I can't share. I was gonna say, oh, because I'm looking at.
Oh, I can
Oh,
give you.
yeah, yeah. I'll just give me permission real quick. I wanna share something real quick so you can take a look at it. Okay. Do this. Okay. Tell me if you can see what I'm sharing.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so look, I pulled this up, and here's South High Community School, all their sports. Boys varsity baseball. There's their schedule. There's their scrimmage. There's their game at
Wow.
Polo Park. All this.
How is that on? Oh, because they have to send that to you, so you guys send them officials.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
but no, but I put the link in. You can look it up too. I have a different view for officials and all that. But now,
Yep.
like I say, now I can go in. I can look at Doherty's schedule.
That's phenomenal, dude, and it makes sense.
Right. And then, but if like, in St. Paul, they're a Worcester school, and I could go in and look at their schools, I'd have to type them in. But like, and then you can do it by a calendar. So here's Doherty's calendar for February. Like, so we'll go to March. Let's go to March. Actually, let's go to April since there's really not much going
Oh,
on.
dude, where was this for basketball?
It was there. That's the thing. It was there.
How does nobody know about this?
Because
Oh my God,
no one tells you anything.
this is unreal.
This is the point, is that the tools are there. It's all there. It's all ready for you. So let's go back to South. Let's go to basketball, girls varsity. It has the game and all their results, Mike. Look,
Wow,
they're all there. Every single one.
never knew this existed. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So I put the link in our chat, and play with it. It's a public thing, you can go and look at it. You can
That's
see when
awesome.
South's playing, you can see when Doherty's playing, you can see when North's playing. And I like to look at it. I like to look at it as an official, because sometimes you get a game and you're like, I don't really know much about this team.
Right.
And what I like to do, and let me stop sharing here real quick. What I like to do is I like to find out about the team. Not that it would make a difference, but do they have a good record? Do
You
they
know
have
what you're
close
watching.
games? I want to know what, kind of what I'm getting into, and you can kind of gauge what type of matchup you're going to have, and not that it changes the way I officiate, but it gives me a sense of what I'm going to be expecting.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty spot on when I get to a gym on how it is.
I love it, man. Wow, you just say you just improved Shamrock by about 25%. I like, I've been dabbling with commentating a little bit, doing on the
Mhm.
live, the fourth quarter, just so people know what's going on or whatever. And
Yeah.
it would be really helpful if I had the whole entire roster in front of me. Like I don't know if you know Jason Roby. He's a news guy up in Drake. I
No.
met him
Yeah.
when I went to that tournament. The guy's phenomenal. and he's
Is
got
it?
everything out in front of him. He's got like he was super professional. Shout to him because he gave me a shout on their broadcast. So
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
no, and and I mean, good journalists, they know. I mean, and you remember, I started coaching in a time when the newspaper mattered. Guys like Kenny Powers, Rich Garvin, who's still around. Sean Sweeney up at the Sentinel Enterprise up in now in Fitchburg. Like those guys, they would show up to a game and they were all ready to go. I see Tom Flanagan every once in a while. I'll tell you that guy would, he's still kicking around, but he was also dedicated. He tried to do something that you're doing, but on a print level.
yeah,
Central Mass Insider so many years ago, and again, that's what the city is lacking from a coverage standpoint,
right,
and I understand nobody reads newspapers or anything anymore, but you know what? Everyone's got one of these. It's that simple, right? It is that simple.
yep,
Um, and do you have to film every second of the game? Nah, do a few highlights, get a couple of interviews, things like that.
right,
And it's amazing how you can bring a game to life in 30 seconds or less.
yep,
And I think that's something that we're lacking, and a lot of it is just because the media industry is just it's slowly dying, and you need those people to just be able to come in, cover those games. And it's startups like yours. You you you've got you're not making $1 million on this. You're
I'm
not
making
doing, and
zero.
that's just right, exactly, right.
Right,
And it's just all out of the sheer passion for what you're trying to do. And that's when it sticks. And
yeah,
that's why you're having that success, because your passion comes out in everything you post, everything you say. And we're missing that. Everybody wants the next quote. Everybody wants the next scoop, which is also part of it. But you know what? Everybody wants to see the breadth of what's happening around there. I think Walter Bird posted a picture um, from the game, and he was right behind the bench, and it was Al in the huddle, and he's locked in on his players are locked in on him. And that's what people want to see.
right,
Like they want to just see, like they want to feel like they were at the game. And you don't read about that. You got to show it. You got to show
right.
the pictures, the videos, do crowd shots, all that stuff. And that was what I really, really kind of liked. Like, I never went and got the score from the Telegram. I got it from you,
Right, right,
because it was just how you conducted it, how you did it. You did it quick. You didn't have to wait to press, and you got it. And the good thing is you had the teams buying in on what you were promoting as well, so you had easy partners with them. And
no
I
doubt.
think we need more of that. We need more of a sports staple. And you know we once the high school seasons finish, in May or June, there's a whole nother 3 months of sports that go on that just nobody knows about.
And
We have
that's
you
what
know
I
we have the only thing they talk about is the Woo Sox, and if they're out of town, they'll talk about the Bravehearts if they feel like it,
right,
right? The Bravehearts are a bunch of college kids around. Some of them are local. Then you have the Legion teams that are playing. We have an adult baseball league that's probably one of the oldest in the country with the Stan Musial League. We have the Paul and Johnson League, right? But they s- nobody they just stopped covering it because it's too much. Well,
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're sports journalists. You're cover sports,
Thank you.
and yeah, you're gonna go to a game that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. It happens.
Yep.
You know how many journalists were upset when they would go watch the Patriots beat up on Tennessee 59-0? They all loved it, right?
Oh,
But you
yeah.
know what? But if the guy from Tennessee hated it, but he went anyway. And
They're spread too thin, and I get it.
they are spread too thin.
That's it. And my thing is, I wrote a post last week that said the best part of the game to film is the end, no matter what. If
Yeah.
it's 80-40, doesn't matter. You know why? Because that kid comes off the bench, you're gonna see the biggest crowd reaction when that kid
Right.
bangs a three or whatever. I've seen it a million times this year, and that's what I look for. Like
Yeah.
I've been to some shitty games.
Oh,
That's
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
but you find something about, you don't waste your time. You're looking for something like that, something
Yeah.
like a good pick, or like, who knows what it is. But there's more to the story than just being there, even if the game sucks.
Yeah,
What I mean?
and
Effort.
like I said, Rich Garvin and Carl Sutherland and Jim Wilson, they do a good job. They are stretched thin, but I think there's a piece of the hold on one second. There's a piece of the puzzle that's missing. You know, I mean, all due respect to Coach Foley and St. John's, but they don't need as much media coverage as they get.
Right.
And
I agree.
especially when the past few years they've had losing seasons.
Yeah.
Now would now I'll flip it back on you. When St. John's was running 20-0 and South was going 7-11, were you covering South? No, you were still covering St. John's.
Right.
Now that's the South girls went 22-0 and the South St. John's boys were 7-11. You covered St. John's. Like, and I understand that, like, they have a huge alumni and all that stuff, but you know what? But you're telling a better story with the other team.
Right.
It's a story thing, right? And I've just found myself just not paying attention to it anymore. I'll go in,
You're
I'll
not the
grab the
only
score,
one. You're really
and I'll
not the
just
only
go
one.
in and I'll go in because it's the same old stories, and I would love to see an expansion of it because you know local journalism has died, and what what brings local news together better than your local sports? What does it better than that? I mean, when I was a kid, they used to cover the Kangaroo Crossing men's summer league down at Crompton.
Yeah.
That's how much they used to do. They used to go and cover those games. And those were like glorified pickup games.
Right.
Granted, there were some pretty great talented players in those games, but the telegram was there.
Yeah.
And again, they had more people on staff, and I understand that, but again, those games are still there, and there's no coverage. Not getting is like going from all the coverage to no coverage, that's a sin. Going to all the coverage to some coverage, you can manage that.
Right.
You can manage that because all we get now is just box scores in the paper that the coaches have to call in.
Yeah.
You
Not a
know,
lot of
and
them do. I
and
know that
you
because
know, and, I remember one time I got so mad. Couldn't even tell you the game. Um, oh, I'll tell you exactly what the game is. It was we played at Wachusett. It was the night the Patriots were going to go 16-0. They played that night game against the Giants. So
yeah.
we moved the start time of that game, not the Super Bowl, the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
We moved the start time of that game because we were supposed to play at 6 o'clock that night. The game was at 8. We played it at like 4:30. And so from there, we put the kids back on the bus. We go back to school. We send the kids home, and then I hit a party. We're gonna watch the game. Now I'm getting like texts from the Telegram. Hey, you guys didn't call your score in. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm not home right now. I'll call it. He's like, well, we need it by such and such a time. I said, well, if you cared so much, you'd have gone to the game.
Yep.
And that's just it. It's like you're relying on me. Well, guess what? You don't pay me.
Thank you.
And I got shit to do. Right?
I don't mind helping out, but I'm not doing your job.
Right?
For it.
And after I hung up with him, I felt bad, so I called it in real quick. I was like, here it is. Here's blah 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 blah. It takes 2 minutes to do, but it's just like it's like, you know, if you cared that much,
Yeah,
send someone,
it's a
send
big
a
word,
stringer,
man. It's
send
my
a stringer.
favorite Ray
You
Lewis
know,
speech ever.
you
Effort.
know, like I say, and sometimes, and you'll hear me say it all the time. Someone says to me, "Oh, hey, how was such and such?" I'm like, "Well, if you cared, you'd have been there." Right?
Yeah,
Right? If you cared, you'd have been there, right?
yeah.
And I just think that's something our community needs is just more exposure. And you know what? Not just when we win, when we lose too. We need, like like y- you know, like Al Jenkins, God rest his soul, he didn't have a good team, but you know what? We should cover that team anyway. Those things like that. And because that's where those kids love it. They got their name in the paper. They got quoted in the paper.
So
You know,
that's
my
what's
mom,
up.
like I got quoted playing baseball when I was a kid. My mom still has that paper. And kids look for that.
Yeah,
Kids look for that. They want that validation. They want that exposure. And we're not giving it to them.
and that's so now this project has turned into what I would have loved as a kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So to be put on YouTube and maybe that play is on there forever that you made. Like I might be looking back at something or that's on the internet forever. You have that forever.
Right.
So at 22-0, the South Eye ladies, that season's on YouTube forever.
Forever.
That's what I'm looking to do.
Yep.
It's not, it's effort. No, I don't get paid for it. I enjoy every second of
Right.
what I do, but there's at some point they're gonna have to give a thought to putting someone in place as a job, like maybe
Yeah.
someone social media at these schools. Somebody should be in
Yeah,
charge.
yeah, and that's one thing I would say is, just get a even if it has to come out of the communications department, do something. Get promote, it's great because the Worcester Public Schools is a great school system.
Agreed.
And I think the new superintendent's doing a good job. I mean, she's still pretty green, so you can't say she's doing a great job, but she's still pretty green.
Yep.
And but I we need to start putting light on everything,
Yep.
and I think the one thing that the North Run taught us is that, we have some good athletes in our system as well. And we don't hear about them until they win. You
Right.
know, do it,
Thank you.
do it, do a, do a, doing a, do a player of the week or month or whatever. Do it from University Park. Do
Something
it,
they want to play for.
do it from the swim team. Who cares? But just
Right.
do something, right?
Right.
And
I agree.
you'll see more, you'll see more interest. Interest breeds participation. Participation breeds numbers, and numbers mean success. And
Yep.
it's just it and it's an ever ending circle. And Dave Shea's doing a fantastic job as an AD. He's got an extremely thankless job,
Yep.
but he's very good at it.
Yep.
And I talk to him a couple times a year because we do schedulings and things like that. And if my counterpart who really deals with the inter is not available, I'm the guy. Like I'm the next in line. And we all work well together. And if we can work well together from an administrative standpoint, we can do it on a communicative standpoint as well, because I love promoting Worcester. I'm an '04 guy. I've never lived anywhere else. And I love seeing good things about Worcester.
I'll tell you, I advocate for that because I've seen this since I was 9 out here at this field. So,
Yeah.
but so we got about 5 minutes left. I
Okay.
love that chat we just had because I'm gonna plug my own stuff.
You
We're
do
gonna
it.
go live at I'm hoping to get to every inter-high baseball game, but there's only 2 of us on camera right now. So we will be live. If anybody wants to add their team or a game you want seen, message me, do whatever. We'll be there. It's not just South. It's
Yeah.
everybody. We want, in baseball, I'm not going to lie, it was weak last year, participation wise. Like a lot of these old guys didn't want to get on or whatever. It's time, man. Baseball, we've had a ton of talent come out of here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Why not us? And all these kids, they want something to play for. That's it. And they want recognition. They work just as hard. They deserve it. And a lot of these coaches do too. So
Yeah.
tune in. We're gonna be there. We're hoping to keep track of stats. Nick just changed the entire game by giving me a schedule. And
That's a
that's
game
all I
changer
needed.
right there. That's a game changer right there, right?
You have no idea, dude. It's just rosters. You get me? Unreal. It would be a dream. You know what I mean? But
Well, I could show you who the umpires are for the season, but I'm not going to do that because that has address and phone numbers too. So
yeah,
I'm
well,
not
there's some crazy stuff.
gonna.
Without a doubt. Yep, no doubt. Well, Nick, thank you, my man. We got to wrap
Hey,
it up.
always a pleasure.
Pre-Zoom is a tough road, man, but it's
I'll come on anytime, man.
love
Good
it.
talking to you.
We got to get. Oh, the last thing. We got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What did you were the president of DiMaggio or you and Sarge? I thought.
Oh, East Side Babe Ruth. East Side
So-
Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Sarge and I worked that together up at Vernon Hill. We did that for a few years, and that kind of succumbed because of participation.
That was my
And
little league, man.
yeah, and it's just, the Lou Gehrig Little League is still there, but it's the older kids, the 13 to 15-year-olds. And that was that was the sad part. And I wish we had a better player participation, and I wish we had a better parent participation. That was because you're in the Vernon Hill section, and it's tough, and I
Yeah.
understand that. And I was trying to, I hustled. Me and
Guys
Sarge
both did.
hustled for donations and things like
Yep.
that to get those kids to play almost for free. And at the end of the day, it just became too much.
I wanted to give you a shout for that because I did when Steve was on there. I gave him a shout too. I know you guys were
Yeah.
active in that. I appreciate being an alumni of that league because a lot of my friends from that league now are still my friends. So
Yeah, and that's
it's,
how it was. That's how it was growing up.
that's how it should be going forward. Let's get that back. That's what we're gonna
Yeah,
work.
let's do that. Let's do that, man. Let's do that.
Love it, my man. Nick,
All right.
great chat, and we will definitely. I'll see you soon, man. I'll see you on.
All right.
I want to see you throw someone out too, so don't take any stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, just I got 2 games tomorrow. Maybe you'll see it then. All right. I'll talk to you, brother.
Very much, brother.
All right. Bye.